All right, people, so welcome back to the drafting of the Victorian corset back. So if you have not watched the Victorian corset front drafting, please visit our last video for it. So this is the back drafting we are making right here. So you can see my back bodies, and this is my shoulder line. So I've already created my necessary lines. This is my center back for the Victorian corset. And we have the chest line, we have our waistline, and finally we have the upper hip for the back, and we have the lower hip for the back. So note that everything reduces by 2 inches because our intake was 2 inches. So the waist for the front was 17. So here I have 2 inches removed, that is 15 inches. So now on the waistline, I'm going to contour my back. That is the first thing I'll do before we proceed. I'm contouring by 0.75. I'll mark, then I'll place my pattern ruler this way. So this contour line is necessary because the human back is not as straight as this. So I'll just go into and flush it into the lower hip, as you can see. So everything I have here, I'm going to cut it off. So that means that I'm going to retake my measurement. So from the on the chest line, from the contour line, I'll measure my actual bust circumference divided by 4. I'll mark. On the hip, I'll measure my actual waist circumference divided by 4 plus my dart intake. I'll mark. So my dart intake for the back, my waist is 46. Okay, so sorry, 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches. So from the center front before the contour line, this is my 9 inches, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So this is the midline, and whatever I have, 4.5, I'll transfer it from here to create my dart. I'll also transfer it from here to here to create my back dart. So my back dart is created even on the chest line. I'll also mark the 4.5, as you can see. So I have my back dart created. So from the chest line, I'll come down by 1 inch and I'll mark, and from the upper hip I'll come up by 1 inch, I'll mark. So what I'm doing here is creating my dart. So the dart intake I'm using for the back here is 0.75 here and 0.75 here. So from that 0.75, I'm creating my dart for the back. So make sure you have replaced the dart. You can see me, I replaced everything. Waist is divided by 4 is 9 inches, as you can see. Dart intake is 1.5, which I have marked, and I'm going to connect those together, and it comes back to this line. So even if it gives you a funny shape, don't worry. By the time you have these cuts, everything disappears. So we want to start creating what we had on the neckline. So on the neckline, I'm going to bring back what I have here. Okay, remember we had an extension of 1 inch in the last class for an exaggerated shoulder. So I'll just exaggerate it that way, and then I'll just come in by 1 inch, and at that 1 inch I'm going to connect back. You can do this, you can even do this, and it's the same thing. It gives you the same thing we had in this class. So I'll just match from here to here to get the actual line of my neckline. So the neckline right now for this Victorian corset is going to have a yoke. So the first thing I'm going to do for the creation of the yoke, I'll be making use of what I have on this yoke too. Okay, so this is the front yoke, and you can see this is where we had the end of the yoke. So that is where I'm going to create my neckline from. So I'll just go in and come down by, or you can just place your ruler and do whatever you want to do. So normally I come down by 1 inch here, but if you just place it, gives you a good line, it's okay by you. So you can now go ahead on that neckline and make a V back for that back. Okay, that is all your choice. Anything can go for the back. So I think this yoke is better, or it looks good for what we have at the back as well for this kind of corset. So now the corset, we came down by 1 inch, if you remember. So we came down by 1 inch when we connected our corset front. So I would still come down by 1 inch. We are going to have the back straight, so there's no basque to it. So the 1 inch should go on the side and on the side. So this is it here, and we'll extend what we have on this to the yoke. Okay, so we can create our boning lines as we wish. It depends on how many boning lines you want to create. You can create one here, you can create another boning line here. That is after you have sewn. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. Okay, so we are not going to pieces them, we are going to cut them, and you place your regling boning to sew them. So for what we have on the waistline, that is the skirt part, I'll just go this way to cut the skirt part. Then this is what I have on the neckline. So the neckline does not actually have any problem. That is where the zipper will start. And I will go into my exaggerated shoulder line, and I'll take this into the sides. So this is the skirt piece. So note that we have our zipper. Don't forget to indicate where you have your zip, the waist, which is for the lower part, the zip. Okay, then I'll keep this, we'll come back to it. I cut the yoke, then I cut the darts. Okay, so these darts will be put together and sewn. Okay, so that is how it will be put together and sewn. Okay, so when you are sewing it, you sew it this way, and it forms your dart for you at that point. So that is that, and you can now place your boning lines with your chalk line and create your boning lines effectively. So that is that, and here I'll just go in and close up these darts for the back. So I'll just apply my adhesive, close up the darts, and cut the back skirt. And don't forget the front skirt too has a dart too, which will also be closed up. Or if you don't want to close it up, you can just take what you have. That is another method that makes it quite easier. You can come in and measure the dart, and the dart there is 1 inch. You can take it off from here. Okay, and that does not affect anything at all. Just put it on your, and you have taken off. Or to get this not to eat into your dress, this is where the dart stopped. I'm sorry about going over there, so you just blend it here, please. Okay, so you don't eat into your pattern. So I've blended it now, and I'm going to do what? Cut off what I have. That is for the front. Thereby I've cancelled this dart. Okay, so people, that is the end of this class, and I believe this class was very helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive these videos every day. Remember there is a yoke here also, okay, which we just cut off, and this is it. All right, so like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well.